Hello there, happy to see you in the 16th video of learning everything we can learn from the VisionOS documentation by Apple. Here, we're looking at configuring your app for media playback. Configure your app to enable standard media playback behavior. When you build media playback apps for iOS, tvOS, and visionOS, you need to do additional configuration to enable the expected playback behavior. Configuring the audio experience and background operations help ensure that your app's audio work as intended. It also enables advanced features like AirPlay streaming and picture-in-picture playback on supported platforms. Let's configure that audio session. Apple platforms, other than macOS, which primarily leaves control to an app, provides an audio experience that the operating system manages. This enables the OS to provide a seamless audio experience to people as they switch between apps and receive high priority audio requests such as phones and FaceTime calls. Your app uses AV audio session to configure its audio behavior semantically. For example, to have a primary purpose of playback or recording. You delegate the management of those details to the audio session, which ensures that the operating system can best manage a person's audio experience. Your app automatically has an audio session that the system configures with this default behavior. Audio playback in your app silences other background audios. Support for audio playback, but not audio recordings. Ring/silent switch sets the silent mode in iOS silent app audio, and lock device in iOS silence app audio. Default audio session provides the useful behavior, but typically doesn't provide experience and features you need when building your playback app. To add this required behavior, configure your app audio session category. An app session category defines the general audio behavior your app requires. AV Foundation defines several audio session categories you can use, but the most relevant for media playback is playback. This category indicates that the media player is a central feature of your app. When you specify this category, the system doesn't silence your app audio when someone sets the ring/silent switch to silent in iOS only. Enabling this category means your app can play background audio if you're using the audio, AirPlay, and picture-in-picture background mode as explained in the section below. Use an AV audio session object to configure your app's audio session. An audio session is a singleton object you use to set the audio session category, mode, and other settings to configure the audio session for optimal playback of movies. You will run the following piece of code where you will pull the singleton of AV audio session shared instance and set the category for .playback and .movie playback. To enable this category, activate the audio session using the set active method. Before we dig into the code, let's take a look at this note. You can activate the audio session at any time after setting its category, but it's recommended to defer this call until your app begins audio playback. Deferring the call ensures that you don't prematurely interrupt any other background audio that may be in progress. Setting the category is the minimum interaction with an audio session, but other configurations, options, and features are available. For example, in VisionOS, you can customize a user's spatial audio experience by configuring the audio session. For more information, see AV audio session. Let's take a look at that in our code. Here in our code, we have set up our AV audio session to do .playback and movie playback. We have also done the part where we set the spatial experience to either provide a large soundstage or a small soundstage, depending if we're using a full window or an inline viewer for watching the trailer. The thing is, our code does not have the set active in place, so I added that to our play and pause function. Configure the background modes. The system requires you to enable certain capabilities to perform some background operations. A common capability that playback apps require is playing background audio. With this capability enabled, your app audio continues when people switch to another app or lock their iOS device. Your app also needs this capability to enable advanced playback like AirPlay streaming and playback, picture-in-picture playback on supported platforms. Use Xcode to configure this capability. Select the app's target in Xcode and select the Signing and Capabilities tab. Next, click the plus capabilities button and add the background modes capabilities to the project. In the background modes interface, select the audio, AirPlay, and picture-in-picture option under its list of background modes. Here it is selected. With this mode enabled, your app session configured, your app is ready to play background audio. In iOS, when you enable this option, your app can stream its content over AirPlay, and in iOS and tvOS, it can use picture-in-picture playback. Let's see that in our code. Here we go to App Target. Next, we go to Signing Capabilities. We scroll down. We already have the background mode. Otherwise, you have to add it. So with that, we have background mode. We have selected audio, AirPlay, and picture-in-picture mode for iOS, VisionOS, and tvOS. With that, we have come to close for this article, and I will hope to see you in our 17th video where we'll learn more, and we will be adopting the system player interface in VisionOS. Well, look forward to that. I'll see you in the next one.